welcome to this edition of Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. TCN advocates sustained grid code compliance for power system stability. TCN AFD meet on assessment documents for donor-funded projects. In this edition, we bring you an interview session with the Managing Director, CEO of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, on why it is seeking the approval of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, for an extraordinary tariff review. This and more have been packaged for your viewing delight as you stay with us in this promising edition of your favorite program, Power Wheel. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. The Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has said compliance with the grid code in the electricity market is the best way for the national grid system to achieve a stable frequency and put Nigeria at a vantage position for sustainable electricity supply.
Mr. Mohammed, who was addressing members of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, in Lagos recently, said,
Grid code is the engineering of governing the practice of power. What the grid code said, every generator that's connected to the grid is supposed to comply with what we call frequency control. And what is frequency control? Frequency control means that as they are connected to the grid, if the distribution company reduce load, they should reduce, the generators all over the country should reduce load automatically. But they are saying, not somebody wanting them reduce. If the distribution companies increase load, all the generators in the country should increase load. That's what we call frequency control. And this is what has never been enforced in Nigeria.
Continuing with his presentation, he said with TCN spearheading the implementation of the grid code and the compliance of the generation companies, GENCOs, Nigeria attained a frequency rate that has been much more stable than ever.
In December 2017, we decided to move to the next level. And what is the next level? We decided to enforce the grid code standard of 49.75 and 50.25. And the world standard of 49.8 and 50.2. And I want to tell you from December 23rd to date, we are able to sustain the frequency control of 49.75 Hz and 50.25 for 85% of the time. And also 49.8 and 50.2 for 65% of the time. If you look at this, it's the same quality of power we carry.
On eligible customer regulation, Mohammed said TCN facilitated the connection of 5 eligible customers to GENCOs, and they are being served with uninterrupted power. The policy allows large power users to connect directly to a GENCO through the use of transmission facilities. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, in late 2018 confirmed that 5 power users were already benefiting from the policy which he declared in 2017.
So the minister now make an announcement that yes, the policy has declared 5 are now going in the system.
The president of MAN, Engineer Mansour Ahmed, lauded TCN for leading massive reforms in the power sector. He said the association will collaborate with TCN to ensure members get adequate power supply to further boost industrialization. Ahmed formed an ad hoc committee to follow up on that.
We will have a meeting with the chief of staff and seek actually take specific reason, justified presentation to the president and say, Mr. President, you want jobs, you want this country to develop. One of the key stretches within that champion of that sector. There is no way you can spend in this sector if our power supply remains eclectic, remains cooperative. And we know there are things that can be done now, not in 10 years' time, or not in a year's time, to actually begin to improve the stability and the quality of our sector.
Ahmed noted that if the president takes the advice, the association promises rapid improvement in industrial development and economic growth.
Officials of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and experts from AFD, the French Development Agency, have met on achieving environmental and social impact assessment document milestones for the execution of key transmission projects to be funded by the agency. Abuja Transmission Ring Project 6 to add 6 new substations in the capital city.
The head transmission service provider TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, who represented the managing director CEO of TCN, Mr. Osman Guru Mohammed, commended the team from AFD, the French Development Agency, for the immense cooperation on the projects. He said Abuja project transmission was on course.
Everything about the Abuja project is almost concluded. And the Northern Corridor 2 now, we are making serious progress. TCN is grateful for this. This is another mission, and we believe that after this mission, this Northern Corridor will have equally reached a very advanced stage of the project. So, on behalf of MD TCN, I want to declare this program open.
Engineer Adewumi said the technical session with experts from TCN was to chart the course for the project execution. He said,
AFD will be having this technical session with our team of experts here. But at the end of the day, I believe whatever issue we have will be resolved at the end of the exercise.
The project manager AFD, Mr. Ademola Adesoji, said both parties would work towards realizing the environmental and social impact assessment ESIA document with part of their session dedicated to training.
There is an aspect in it which is training, because we believe that at any point in time and at all points in time there is need for exchange. We want that session to be very interactive, to be open, so that you will get to know better what they have in mind, and they will also have to know better the institutional framework.
Mr. Ademola also lauded the management of TCN for the cooperation they have been getting for the donor-funded projects.
We would like you to convey to the MD this good message of the good appreciation we have of the current leadership of TCN.
Explaining the essence of the meeting to Power Wheel on the sideline after he declared the session open, Engineer Adewumi said,
Our project, impacts on the environment. So there's need for us to look at how this project is going to impact on every area where our line transverse, especially when it affects people. So that's what this program is all about.
A social expert for AFD,
Mr. Clement Rapusad,
said the theme was sharing with the TCN experts what they have seen with other projects to ensure the success of the Northern Corridor.
We would like to share with you what we've seen on other projects, what has worked on other projects and what has not worked. So, lessons learned from other projects in other countries.
Engineer Mrs. Jane Okemili, the project manager, TCN AFD projects, spoke of the various segments of the week-long program to ensure that TCN project managers were empowered to do the ESIA for the Northern Corridor projects.
Staff will be there to witness it. After that, then the environmental consultant all the way. Yes, that is how we have arranged it. So the feasibility consultant will be here by 2 o'clock or even earlier than that.
Mr. Arome Atule, the coordinator of environmental and social management for TCN AFD project, said, having discussed with consultants on the project's ESIA report had excited the TCN theme.
We really appreciate your coming. We're looking forward to maximizing this opportunity, but learning the most. I bet you are going to have a barrage of questions. We'll have a long list of them we're going to be asking you to help us and to improve the quality of our report, especially to fasten or to hasten the approval process from the AFD.
To To guarantee uninterrupted electricity supply to the end users, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has called for more investments in transformers, injection substations, and other equipment in the networks of the distribution companies, DISCOs.
Speaking during a media tour to the 132-33 kV substation at Karu and Apol districts in Abuja recently, the Assistant General Manager Transmission at TCN, Engineer Mahmoud Suleiman, said the continuous rejection of wheeled power from the substation was worrisome. Engineer Mahmoud, who first addressed newsmen at the Karu substation, said the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, had installed an auto recloser circuit breaker, which is originally meant to protect the feeder from fault issue, but that the firm uses it for a different purpose.
It is supposed to have been a kind of protection on the feeder. Technically, when there's a fault, it can open and isolate our equipment. But AEDC are not using it for that. They are using it as a switch. When they want to open, when they don't want to pick load, they will come and open it. Even though it has been escalated to NAC, and the management of TCN have raised that before the NERC.
On the quantum of power being left unutilized most times at Karu substation, Engineer Mahmoud said,
in some days, you can see they are taking about 35 out of 96. Yeah, 36. And in some instances, you will see maybe 50, 60.
He said the Karu substation, which gets supply from the 330 132 kV Katampe substation still in Abuja, supplies power up to Mararaba and other parts of Nasarawa State.
This particular substation covers Maraba, up to Karshi, Orozo side, up to Ado, and up to Waman's village, and the entire Karu. That's the coverage area.
At the 132-33 kV Apol's transmission substation, Mahmoud said the substation has 290 MVA capacity, comprising 2 by 100 MVA and 2 by 45 MVA for a wide range wheeling of generated power.
The substation here supplies most of the load up to Presidential Villa and part of Apo Legislative Quarters up to Loko Goma. So this is the first station here in Abuja. That's around in the 80s. So presently, with the coming of the new management in TCN, they added an additional capacity of 100. Formerly, it was 100 MVA and 2 by 45 MVA. So the new management added another capacity of 100 MVA and rehabilitated most of our equipment and switch gears, such as circuit breakers, isolators, both at 33 and 132 kV side. So basically, this what we have here on ground.
Talking of the expansion project at the 330 132 kV Katampe substation, Mahmoud said,
equally in Katampe, recently the management added another capacity there. Formerly we were having 2 by 60 MVA capacity at Katampe 132, but the present management added 100 MVA capacity at Katampe.
In spite of this achievement, TCN said a significant part of the energy load is left unutilized by the DISCOs at the substations, including Apo. Mr. Mahmoud also explained the expansion done at the 132-33 kV Kukwaba substation near the Abuja City Gate. He said,
in Kukwaba, there we have 2 by 60 MVA capacity. That's equivalent to 98 megawatts. Presently, the loading on those transformers is about 60% as well.
We will bring you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Ensure you stay with us. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has been working with the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, to get an extraordinary tariff review to solve underfunding issues of the company. In this interview, the Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, spoke about this and other key steps the firm is taking to expand power transmission capacity in Nigeria. Take a listen. What is the status of the extraordinary tariff review TCN wants NERC to approve?
When we came newly, we did presentation to NERC and we presented a compelling reason that shows that TCN is underfunded. And NERC agreed that we should come and present a case for extraordinary tariff review. That was in 2017. We thought and got the support of Power Africa, who gave us some consultant that supported our staff to prepare the case for extraordinary tariff review, which we did. We submitted to NERC. There's a tentative agreement with NERC that our tariff is low and it should go up. There are a few points of disagreement, but since that time we didn't hear anything from NERC. We need the extraordinary tariff review to be able to operate TCN and to meet our own liability. If you remember, the Transmission Expansion and Rehabilitation Program, under which we sought and got support from multilateral donors, TCN is going to repay all those loans. And we are going to pay it through the tariff wheeling charges that we have. So definitely we require NERC to do action on this. And if you look at even in the industry now, there is no people that are hard-working more than TCN. TCN engineers are the most hard-working staff that you can see. Look at the way we have changed the game changer. Remember, this same TCN was the same TCN that there was this make-believe that you need to bring foreigners to manage it. Manitoba Hydro was brought here to manage this place. And in 4 years that Manitoba was here, they did not bring a single investment into TCN. One kobo they didn't bring. And Nigeria paid officially Manitoba Hydro $32 million for managing TCN. They didn't bring a single penny into TCN. At the same time, for the 4 years that they managed TCN, they did not carry out a single audit of TCN. And the frequency control that I was telling you we are achieving now. One of them have sent an email to me to congratulate us for achieving this, and that this is something that they contemplated to achieve, but they could not even come close to it. You understand what I'm saying? So with all these things that we are doing, I think there should be some motivation on the side of government and regulator. But if you look at it now, TCN is the least paid in the industry. Does that make sense? I don't think it makes sense because we operate high voltage. So if we are looking from the point of risk, TCN is exposed to more risk than anybody in the sector, but we are the least paid.
What is the current wheeling capacity of TCN?
You also have to give credit to this government for some of the actions they take, including reconstituting management of TCN. I remember that they inherited all those structures from the previous government. And some of the decisions they took, including bringing somebody like me to come and work on board and see how we can fix the power sector, came from them. You will understand that when we came in, and that was February 2017, the capacity of TCN was around 5,000. I can tell you as at December 2017, when we simulated the grid was 7,124. The last simulation which we did in 2018, December, the capacity of the grid is 8,100. And let me tell you, we are on track in moving the grid to at least 20,000 megawatt by 2021. We are on track in implementing that. So these are some of the achievements that we have recorded. And I also want to tell you something. We have installed more transformers in the last 1.5 years or 2 years, more than what was done in the previous 15 years. Why? How did we do it? We met a stranded container about 800 in the port. Some of those containers have been there for over 15 years. Some of them have been auctioned. Manitoba was just looking at those things. They did nothing to them. But I can tell you, As at now, we have recovered 708 of the 800 containers, and we have also come up with strategy to remove the remaining ones. We are working on removing the remaining ones. Now, some of those equipment that we recovered, we encourage TCN engineers to do the installation by themselves. And in many of these cases that we do give the TCN engineers to do, they are installing them at the rate of about 10% of the time that we normally spend on contractors, and at the rate of about 10% of the money we normally spend on contractors. And that's why we achieve so much more than what has been achieved in the past. And I can tell you it's sustainable. It's not, they are not doing below standard work.
How much investments has TCN raised for its expansion program?
We have $1.623 billion. We have $486 million for the NETAP from the World Bank. We have $410 million for NTAP from the African Development Bank. If you want me to give you the lines that those projects will finance, I can even also give you. The World Bank will finance brownfield projects, existing substations and existing lines, and is working to put N-1 across the country. I've explained to you what is N-1. That project is on track, it's been implemented. It has been approved by the Federal Executive Council, it has been approved by the board of the World Bank, and everything is on track. The next one, which I told you, $410 million, we have finished the preparation, we have concluded the environmental impact assessment, and we have agreed with the African Development Bank we are going for advanced procurement. Then we have JICA $200 million, which is financed by the government of Japan, and that project will fix a transmission and transformation problem between Lagos and Ogun. For information, this is the most industrialized part of Nigeria, and this power is to put power to where all our industries and make it closer to them. And we are putting 4 number 330 kV substation between Lagos and Ogun. And for information, this is the first time in the history of Nigeria that more than one 330 kV substation is being built in the same location. Now, this project has been completed. We have done the design. Everything is completed. What is stalling the project is that the compensation for the right of way is too high. So we are working with Ogun State government through a collaboration where they are working to reduce the cost, and we have gone very far in that respect. Once we finish that one, you will see our tender will come out. The next project on this is what they call Abuja Transmission Scheme. That project is putting 5 new substations in Abuja, 2 330 and 3 132. And that project is financed by AFD, French Development Agency, and is also bringing a new supply route to Abuja from Lafia to Abuja. Now, that will add to the existing 2 number 330 kV supply route to Abuja. You know, currently we have a 330 kV supply from Ajakuta to Abuja, and then from Shiruru to Abuja. So this one will come in as the 3rd one. It will come from Lafia to Abuja. I want to tell you that, and I also said that it will add 2 number 330 kV substation in Abuja. Currently we have only 2. It's adding another 2. And the 2, one will be at Apo, the other one will be at a place called Westman, which is at Lugbe. It will add 3 number 132 kV substation to the existing 5. And the locations will be at Gorimpa, Lokogoma, and at Kuje. We have finished the tender for that project. We have signed all the contracts for that project. What is remaining is implementation.
We're glad you stayed with us on this edition. It will be another revealing edition of Power Wheel next week on this same station, and we hope to see you then. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel, and you can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. See you next week.